You're live, Pat. Go for it, darling.
Oh my goodness, what the heck is going on here? Everybody, welcome. Great to have all of you tune us in and turn us on. I got to tell you something. One of the things that happens sometimes is we get caught in the hustle and the bustle, or I'm trying to make sure my mic is on, or the whatever is going on right now, the energy of it. And I made a conscious decision not too long ago that I'm going to stay up to date on the news because it's important. I owe that to all of you. I got to fix my collar here too. Um, but there's there's paying attention and then there's paying attention. And what I realized is if you are like the people I've been talking with, you are in place with your pets, with your animal friends. I think I just heard one. Um, and so what has that been like for you? For many people, you're not home. You're not there every day. You're out and about, and maybe the kiddos, you pick them up and they come home. Maybe, but what is it that you're doing differently today? And what is the impact on sheltering in place with your pets? That's why Dr. Monica Diedrich is joining me here today because that's what she does. She is the pet communicator. And, we're talking with her about something that many of you may not think much about. But I will tell you, I've done more calls with you all now where we're in the middle of the call and all of a sudden your two puppies are scratching on the door to get in. They're just scratching. And then you pick up one of them and we're doing the call with the one, but the other one, who knows where that is? Or all of a sudden your cat is up in front of you and you're trying to do a Facebook Live. Or in the case of Kim, your bird is like, I was like, Kim, what what's wrong with your bird?
Right.
And the point is, I don't know that there's anything wrong, Dr. Monica, except that I don't think they know what to make of this. What's
Uh,
going on? Welcome.
Good morning, Pat. Welcome to Pet Talk. And of course, I'm your animal communicator, Dr. Monica. So, yes, you are so right. I'm laughing my head off here because it happens every single time. I am used to that because usually I work a lot from my home only because I have clients all over the world. And one of the first things that I do every morning, today they're quiet. I don't know what happened, but I have 19 peacocks right outside my door, my window. And every time that I'm talking to a client, my peacocks decided to talk and they scream really loud. I mean, if you know how the peacock calls their mate, is unmistakable. There you go.
Is that what that was? I thought it was a cat. I was like, okay, we're getting sound effects from Zach, but is that what it is?
That's what it is. And most people think it's a cat crying. And, they get very confused, very upset because they're very, very loud. That one wasn't right next to my window. It was way back in the yard. But when they're right next to my window, you can really hear them talking. And so the first thing that I have to do when I talk to someone, I have to say, listen, don't get upset. You are going to hear my birds. It's fine. They're happy. They have their tails open. It's sunny in Southern California and they're calling their mates. So there you go. So that is what they do. And it's impossible. You can't police that. That's what happened. And so today I decided that I wanted to talk about animals in general and what happens when we shelter in place.
I'm telling you, they're listening to us. There's something interesting about this, and you should probably talk about it too. There, when we change a frequency, and this is a frequency, this is an electromagnetic frequency. There is the tenor of your voice. There's the tenor of mine. And I will tell you, I don't own a cat. You in approximately, if we're on track, I give it about 6 minutes this gigantic cat, which is not mine, black with these beautiful reddish brown spots, will come walking right in front of my gigantic, like 12-foot sliding glass door. It's 6 minutes. Probably right about then, it will just come in and it stops and it looks in. I don't know if it can see me or not, but I wave. But this is an energy of them, isn't it?
It is an energy. Well, the animals feed off of our energies all the time. And that's why we have to be so careful, because you and me, Pat, we are in this business that we are making others feel good about themselves, about life, even about what is going on with the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So they're kind of okay with us, and they want to be part of our energy because we project a real cool energy to others. But unfortunately, we heard that there are so many people right now that because they don't go out to work, their energy is really low. They're thinking about, what they're going to eat today or tomorrow. They're thinking about being inside with, someone that is somewhat abusive, or that it gets abusive because they're inside. It's a catch 22. And our animals understand this. They feed off of our energies. So you have two kinds of animals. You have the animals that are so happy to see you that they can't get enough of you. And that's why they come in, they rub against you, they interrupt your business meetings, they walk on your computer, they say, look at me, pay attention to me. I don't want you to be doing this. And then on the other spectrum, you have the other animals that are kind of confused. Why are you here 24/7? What why are you interrupting my naps? Why are you interrupting, my day? I have a routine that I need to follow, and now, you are here and I have to be your clown. I have to entertain you. That doesn't work for me. So I want to talk about the two different kinds of animals and what we can do to help them. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and you nailed it too. And the thing I want to talk about is people think can you comment this? Because I got a call before the show to ask you this question. So, one of the things that shows up about our animal friends, we call them pets, is that we have the traditional dog and cat, and then the bird,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm really oversimplifying it. But there are other animal pets. For example, I'm in the middle of the call today with one of our hosts, and she says, I gotta go. I gotta go feed I don't know, it was a cow or a horse or something, because she heard, right? She's got property. I gotta go. I gotta do something with something to feed something out there. And so the call that came in today to ask you is, this is somebody that doesn't have your traditional dog and cat.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a reptile, and
Mm-hmm.
their reptile is not one that roams the house all the time. But their question is, they know, or she is asking, Dr. Pat, Dr. Monica, I got to ask you about this because I didn't think my pet knew when I went to work or knew when I came home or didn't know it. But what she's saying is she's noticing something different from her pet. And it is, I'm going to say lizard, but it's bigger than that, but it's of that reptile nature.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I don't know how it knows, but it knows something's different. And I want to ask you that. We think because now we're home, they don't know that something different's going on.
They all know. That is the bottom line. They all know. They might not hear you if you're not doing something for a few minutes, but they know because first, we talked about this, the energy of the house is different. You have lights on, or you have music on, or you are walking about. All that is energy, and it moves the earth. Yeah, something moves that is not there when you're not home. So they absolutely know. And what happens is when you're home, now a reptile, he might want to interact with you. He might want to see you that you're there. He might want you to give him a few worms or, or mosquitoes or whatever the guy is eating. And he is being more active, to where on the opposite side, when you are at work and the house is really quiet and there are no lights and he's inside his containment place, he's just happy sleeping and just laying around in a cool place. So it is definitely something that we're doing in the house that they know about. They hear you, they feel you, they just know.
I want to ask you this other question. It's a follow-up question as well. And I want to take a break. And when we come back, let's talk about it. I was talking with someone the other day that you were coming on this show, and their question was, should I do something different? Let's answer this when we come back. So here's the question. I usually go off to work, my dog is here, it's got this routine, but now I'm home, right? And the question that she's asking is it okay for me to break my routine? And this is a great question, because the question is really about, if I break my routine, because now I have walked my dog, and literally this is what she's doing. I have walked my dog around the complex now 3 times, 2 miles a pop every day. Is my dog going to be upset when I can't do that anymore? When we come back, we're going to get some advice. And for those of you out there that want to get some help, because yeah, everybody is sheltering in place, not just us, but your dogs, your cats, your hamsters, my friend's beautiful lizard. I call it a lizard. It's like a little dragon thing. So give us a call, 1-800-930-2819. And what about being indoors? Is there such a thing as too much is too much? Even for them, do they wish you were at work? Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Dr. Monica is here. Hey, everybody, look at Dr. Monica. Yes. Is the pet communicator. Everybody on the planet knows that. The show that she has been doing is called Pets Talk. That's today. And they do talk. We're now on Facebook Live at Transformation Talk Radio. If you want to watch us, if you want to type in your question, this is all about your behavior and pet behavior right now, because here we are, we're sheltering in place with our pets. We are really doing that. And so we've got a lot of questions that have already come in to me. They saw what this was about, folks that may or may not be able to call in. Why? Because they're on hold with the Small Business Administration and cannot hang up. That's another show that I did. I did a whole show on that. But for now, I've got their questions. Dr. Monica, before we go and hit these questions up, folks out there, give us a call now, 1-800-930-2819. But how can people work with you directly? Because if they've ever needed help, they need help right now.
That's right. Well, we do a consultation and they can call me at 714-772-2207. That's my business line. Or they can email me simply at Dr. Monica, altogether, no periods, at petcommunicator.com. And I usually answer both emails and phone calls in less than 24 hours. I'm always available, and we can do consultations over the phone, Skype, Zoom, WhatsApp, Facebook chat, whatever you have, so that we can actually see each other like we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and this is really a time where the questions that I got for today, for people that would ordinarily call in, everybody's in the same boat I'm in. I was on hold for 92 minutes, got transferred and the call dropped. So I got to tell you, don't take this crazy out on your pets. Let's just say that right up front, if you don't mind.
That's right.
Like the number one thing we need to really watch right now is how we're behaving. And it is frustrating time we're living in, but our animal friends can feel it, can't they?
Yes, they can, absolutely. And talk about 92 minutes. I spent 10 hours on hold because I needed to cancel a plane ticket. 10 hours on hold. So I know exactly what you mean. It's just so frustrating. There's nothing for us to do but, listen to this recording over and over again. And we get so frustrated that our animals are feeling it. And we have to be really careful not to take it out on them, like you said, because even if we don't do anything, our energy speaks volumes, and something that we want to caress them or pet them or do something nice to them, now we're just shooing them out of the way because we're so upset, and we can't do that. So we have to be really careful. And I wanted to address a very important question.
Yeah.
So go ahead and ask the question your friend had.
I want to ask the question about I have a couple, but I want to ask the one about my friend that walks her dog, her little dog, right? And so they walk out in the community and they go do their big long walk. But what's happening is normally they're walking and they get another dog and they're able to communicate with the neighbors and the dogs communicate. And what's happening now is the minute that somebody is seen or another dog is seen, right? I don't know if dogs know that this is their dog friend, but the minute that happens, instead of people coming together, they are going apart. And the
Right.
dog is like out of her mind, right?
Right.
and
Okay.
and so what is happening with that? Because honestly, the answer is no, I'm not going to walk my dog. That can't be the answer.
No, that is definitely not the answer. The dog needs to be walked. That's the number one thing that I want to stress. A dog needs to be walked, whether you have a big yard or a small yard. If you always walk your dog, you should continue to walk your dog. If you never walked your dog, you should walk your dog. Okay, this is very
I'm
important.
waving to the cat.
Good for you. Yeah, you told me 6 minutes. You were off by 6, but it's
He's off.
okay.
Yeah.
So, yes, you do walk the dogs, but what is happening? You have to put it in the context of what is happening to us. We are social creatures, and they're telling us to keep social distances. So, what happened with a dear friend of yours? You can go in and hug her. You can kiss her. You're not going to go, with your elbow to your very best friend. I mean, that's stupid. So you're seeing your best friend and you have this need to hug, to be close, to talk to her, to tell her all your things that are bottling up inside of you. It's the same thing with our pets. Our pets see a friend and they know their friend by their smell. They can smell it a block away. So the closer they get, they know this friend is here to smell each other, to talk to them, to exchange information. And what you have to do, you have to hold them back, because we need to keep social distancing, not only the humans, but now they're saying that animals need to keep social distances as well. Why? Let me explain why. If you have the virus and you do not have any uh, outward signs that you are sick, you still are a carrier. You're petting your dog is involved with another dog. They brush first, they smell each other. Your dog comes to you, you pet your dog, you get the virus. You see how easy that was? So you have to keep social distances with you and your pets. And your pet will suffer just as much as you suffer not hugging a friend. Okay? Make sense?
It does make sense, but I got to tell you, that's something nobody's talking about.
No, I know.
Nobody's talking about it. So let me just be clear and reiterate, because I got like 5 different questions on this that came in. We don't think, as we are agonizing of not being able to hug or not being able, whatever we're normally used to do it. I have been in quarantine longer and in isolation longer in my life now than when I actually wanted to.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. And I'm a
Mhm.
loner and I'm an introvert. And even for me, it's a bit much. I do get to see Jessica from time to time, which is great, but we don't think that maybe our pets, our animal friends are experiencing the same kind of loneliness.
That's
And I'm
right.
thinking to myself, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, exactly. They have almost the same feelings we have. So therefore, because they're pack animals, they need to integrate with other animals. They like that, even if it is for a brief moment. I mean, if you have a social dog that likes to go and say hi to people or pets, he's going to suffer not being able to do it. There are some other pets that do not. They are your protectors. They bark at anyone that is close by. You are not going to have a problem with them. And that's why I always say that this is very uh, important to make the selection between your pet, how your pet feels and how other pet feels. You can do a generalization, but it's never going to apply exactly for your pet. Which brings us to your second question, right? Your,
Well,
go ahead. Yes.
yeah, there are a couple of different questions that have come in. Um, One of them I addressed earlier, but let me just see if I can lump about five questions into one. Um,
Not so many, because then I won't remember how
I
to
know.
answer each one.
But here's the main thing I'm hearing from people, and it really has turned into a bit of a concern for the owners. This is an unusual time. People are home now that normally wouldn't be home. Children are home now that normally wouldn't be home. So there are two sides to the coin about this. The first side is the owners are home more and maybe demanding more of their pets than they have ever done before. And the other side of that is the pet. But in the end, the kinds of questions that are coming through are like, um, we can't find our cat. Our cat has gone and hid. The kids are looking for the cat. Well, yeah, that's why the cat is hiding, right?
That's exactly
Because
right.
we
It's exactly
forget
right,
that this is
because
their day.
it is an overload of people when you have to remember, when we talk about cats sleep during the day and they're active at night. We change them because they are living with us, so they have to do as we do. But still, they much rather have a long nap during the day and sleep less at night and be a little bit more active. And so what happens is, now the kids look for him, the mom looks for them, they pick them up, they kiss them, they pet them. The guy is done. Okay, it's an overload. So he has to go and find a place where he's not going to be bothered. So under the bed, in a closet, up high, whatever they can do it to hide away from their people. This is the majority of cats. They get overloaded with a lot of love. Now, there are some older dogs that also need to have a routine. Let's talk about routine. You walk your dog in the morning and you walk your dog in the evening. You have to continue to do the same routine you always do. You can do it a little bit later, because now you don't have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You can go at 6 or at 7, but as long as the routine stays the same, they're going to be happy. If it's an older dog and you already did the routine that you always do, he might not be happy if now you want to do a noontime hike, or you want to take him around town for 2 miles or 3 miles. He might not like that. But if he's a young dog, a very energetic type of dog, absolutely, you can do that. So you have to know your pet. I cannot tell you what to do with your own pet, but I can tell you that at the very least, you have to keep your routine going.
Look,
Okay?
when we look at this, I want to take a short break. When we come back, I want to talk with Dr. Monica about, we are in times now where the things that are available to us now today, we can be highly creative. But here's what I want to say about the work that she does. Number one, we're living in a world now where you don't know what you don't know. You've never been through this before, neither have your animal friends. And there are some things that you may not know, but I will tell you this is the time you dial the phone and you call Dr. Monica. Because one of the things that I know is that if you think that you're being affected by what's going on, I want you to make sure you think about this because your pets are being affected. Even so much when we come back, I want to talk about this. Even so much you watching all of the news channels 24/7 every day. So when we come back, Dr. Monica is going to share with us what she has learned from working with her clients and what is it about dogs. One of my favorite things to talk about. Why is it when you go out to your office and you start to work, both of your dogs start clawing at your door? And what do they need? And by the way, how about your cats? What about that cat that you can't find in your house and you agonizingly try to search? And when you find the cat under the bed, you're trying to drag the cat out. Don't do it. Let's take a short break. We'll tell you why the cat's going to come out when the cat's going to come out. And when we come back, I want to hear what Dr. Monica says about my friend's dog that has gained about 5 pounds already in like 2 weeks. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. It's so great to have all of you tune us in and turn us on. One of the things that I love is we bring great shows, but more than that is we bring you solutions. That's what Dr. Monica does. And so I want to make sure you have the website, petcommunicator.com. Petcommunicator.com. When you get there, this is where you'll find Dr. Monica is available almost 24/7 to help you with what's going on with your animal friends, with your pets, with yourself around this. And, whether it's, a loved one that's living now or one of your animal friends that have passed on. There's so much that she does to help people. I want to make sure you give her a call because these are trying times. How we behave now is going to be important in the relationships we're developing with our animal friends, with our pets. So, her phone number to schedule your own session because these shows are short, please give her a call 714-772-2207. That's her direct number 714-772-2207. The website, as I mentioned before, is, of course, petcommunicator.com. And lots of information there. You can connect with her on social media. We're talking about shelter in place right now, Dr. Monica, and there are so many things that people have asked me for this show, but
Mhm.
I'm curious from you. What are people calling you about? What are some of the things that have come up for folks? What are you helping them with?
A lot of my clients have suddenly have pets with illnesses or things that they have never had before. And so I get a lot of calls as to why do you feel that way? How do you feel? Is there anything that I can do for you? And so forth. So uh, my job as a communicator is really to become your pet's translator. I translate for you how they feel, where the pain is, how severe, if they feel that the medicine is taking effect, is not doing anything, is making me drowsy, I'm just not feeling great. But at the same time, my job is a little bit of a PI, okay? It's just finding out the reason for this, why all of a sudden our pets are ill. So generally speaking, unless it had to happen for another reason, but I can tell you that as I already mentioned before, they feed off of your energy. And a lot of pets now that we are social distances and home sheltering, they are getting sick because of the energy in the household. So they they might have been prone to something before, but it's just now that they're actually seeing it. Okay, and so we have to be really careful how we treat them, how we feel ourselves, and how we project our feelings into them. And that is one of the things that I am seeing more and more often nowadays.
But what is it that, if I could ask you, without sounding ignorant here, um, what seems to be baffling the owners? And let me tell you what I mean by that baffling is that we usually think we have a great rep with our pets and our animal friends, right?
Yes,
But we forget how ultra sensitive they are.
that's right.
We forget that they have a routine like we have a routine.
Yes.
And to my friend, if you're listening about why your little dog looks like they gained 5 pounds, well, probably somebody's given her some food, right, Dr. Monica? I mean, that's just like the dog's not blowing up for nothing.
Well, two
Um,
things can happen here.
yeah.
So, one thing is that maybe the kids are either giving her or dropping some food on the floor, depending how old the kids are, right? Because we know that they're vacuum cleaners sometimes. They just go whatever there's food and they will pick up whatever is on the floor. That's number one. But going back to what I said of the energy that we're having and that they're getting a little bit frustrated, it could be that this little dog has now developed some thyroid problems. Thyroid can get really fast, really fat really fast, or really skinny really fast. And so when that happens and they blow up, it is time to go check with a vet and make sure that everything is working right. Because when you say 2 or 3 pounds for a little 10-pound dog, is 30% of his weight. Is an enormous amount of weight that he's gaining. So if he uh, gained 5 pounds, that is 50% of his body weight. That is like, this is not right. You have to take him in. And that's another thing that I tell my clients. If I cannot help them, I tell them, you have to go see the vet right away. This is not normal. Okay.
But when it's not normal, and it's not normal,
Mm-hmm.
you know, these are unusual times, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I was listening to your beautiful bird in the background. And of course, my little cat that I don't own was, what did you say, 6 minutes late walking by?
Right.
Same routine though. Walks by, stops. I don't know if they can see me or what they're looking at, and then just walks on by.
Right.
But in the end, right, we have to be more mindful now of what we're doing and what's going on in the home environment. And I want you to talk to this because people cannot allow their frustration to be taken out on their animal friends, and they need to pick up the phone and call you to
That's right.
find out what they can do, because I don't think that people realize that how they behave during this time will have an impact. It has an impact on us as humans. And I don't know why we don't get that it's going to have an impact on our
Yeah.
animals.
I don't think that we think it's going to have an impact. We are preoccupied. We are worried about where the next meal is going to come. I understand that. But for instance, I had a client this week that emailed me, and she was very frustrated because she was upset at her kids and she had taken it out on the dog. And she realized she did that after the fact, and she was beyond herself. She couldn't understand what prompted her to do that, and she wanted to ask forgiveness. She wanted to say, I never meant to do that. You never did anything. It was just me. And good thing that she realized that she did that. But there are so many of us that will not realize until it's late, until it's very late. And all those things that we do create scars in our animals. And so, to the point that maybe some animals will no longer trust you. And once you lose the trust of an animal, that is really something sad.
I think that's my point that I'm trying to make, and you just nailed it. I couldn't put my finger on it, but this is the message to folks today. And that is, if you don't know what you don't know about your own way of being, right? You're lashing out your emotion. I have a friend that's not sleeping at night, very unusual, right? Gets up in the middle of the night. The dog gets up in the middle of the night. I mean, it's just a whole different thing, right?
Right.
But we're not really clear about the fact we can get some help as to what to do around our animal friends. Because you're right, there are things that can happen. I know the effect that I had on my dog when I lost my job. I mean, I know the effect that I had on him, right?
Yes.
I didn't know it at the time. But isn't this the kind of work that you do to help people?
Right. Again, my job as an animal communicator is to translate for you exactly what your animal is feeling, is thinking, is wanting, is hoping that you do. And even if sometimes what you hear is not what you want to hear, like, leave me alone, don't wake me up, I need to take my siesta, I've had enough of this, I don't want to do that. These are things that you need to know, because if you don't know, how can you fix it? And let me give you another example, because the
Yeah,
majority of times I talk about dogs, because the majority of us have
yeah,
dogs that have problems, but cats can be a problem too. So, what happens when you want to keep a cat inside and you do not allow the cat to go out? And so I always tell my clients, it is still a jail. It doesn't matter if you live in a palace with 10 rooms, it's still a jail. Why? Because they're not in nature. And these are creatures of nature. They love to be on top of the grass. They love to smell flowers. They like to eat grass. They like to find a mice. They are creatures of nature. And so, so many times when they are insisted that they have to go out, we have to make that possible. And if you can't, because there are some people that swear up and down that, they would not let a cat out because it's dangerous, because it's dangerous. So, what you have to do is you have to bring nature in. So, you bring plants, you bring grass, you bring branches, you bring smells inside the house. You do a little catio type for your cat, and you make your cat happier that way. Or you train your cat to go out with a halter. I have many clients that have trained their cats since they were kittens, and now they're able to walk on a halter, on a very long leash halter, or they're outside, they're reading their book, and their cat is walking about in their backyard, and
right,
that is just lovely.
right, right. Boy, do we forget that though.
Was that?
We forget that.
Yeah, we do. We forget that. But how do you feel, or how does everyone that has to be sheltering at home feels not be able to go outside when we are social creatures and we need to go outside? You want to go out. It doesn't matter where. Even if you go driving around in your car, you need to see nature. You need to see green. You need to see people out and about. You need to see that. Otherwise, we all feel that we are in jail, and our animals are no different than us. They need to be outside too. We forget that.
We do forget it. I want to make sure, Dr. Monica, if we could take a minute, let's go ahead and give people your phone number again and just let folks know what kind of work you do to help them. Just give us a rundown.
Okay. So my number is 714-772-2207. Is my office number. I work from my office every day, all day. I have a 30-second, commute from my kitchen to my office, so I'm here all the time. And then you can email also at drmonica@petcommunicator.com. So as far as what we talked about, any problem that you have with your animal, whether it's physically, mental, emotional, for instance, a cat not using the litter box, a dog with a consistent cough that the vets can't figure out what happened, a behavior problem that is continuously going on. There are some things that we can do. And at the very least, directly from your pet why they do what they do. If they think that you can help them change the behavior, what is necessary for you to do. If a cat is upset at you because they want to go outside and you want to convince your cat that they need to stay inside, what will it take for him to be happier? What can you do? What kind of things that he likes? These are things that you cannot ask your pet except through animal communication. And that's where I come in. I am the in between you and your pet.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you, we are looking at extraordinary times, but we can bring extraordinary blessings forward. I think really, especially when it comes to our pets and our animal friends, is we just don't know what we don't know. And what I was saying to a friend of mine is, look, I'm not the expert about this, but Dr. Monica is. This is the person you want to go to literally, check in and make sure everything that's going on is going on perfectly. Would you give out your website again and your phone number, and what a great service you're providing to people?
Thank you. My website again is petcommunicator.com. Remember, communicator has two M's. And my phone number is area code 714-772-2207. My office is in California. So if you're on the East Coast, please don't call me at 6 o'clock in the morning because I still hear the phone. But so that I am at work from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. California time every single day. If you email me or you leave me a voicemail after those working hours, I will return your phone call in less than 24 hours.
I love it. Dr. Monica, thank you so much. What's your personal message? What would you like to leave us with today?
I just want to
I
say
can hear your bird in the background.
I know. Sorry about that.
No, that's great.
I just want to know that I just want to tell everyone to know that your animals are always listening to you. They're feeling your feelings. They are with you. They are trying to ground you. So listen to your animals. And if you can't, contact me. Thank you for listening all. Until next time.
I love it. Thank you all for tuning us in and turning us on. Make sure you check it out, petcommunicator.com. The thing that is also very cool about Dr. Monica is you don't have to know what's going on. People wait way too long and I can figure out what's going on here. You don't have to do that, right? You know that sometimes we need some help that goes beyond whatever is in our wheelhouse. That's the work she does with people all over the world. And then she teaches others how to do the same. Go to her website, you're going to see lots about her courses and her classes and how to learn about what she does for yourself. Let's take a short break, everybody. Dr. Monica, thank you for today. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
And when you're walking Sadie again, make sure you don't overdo the social distancing thing, but be mindful of it. We'll see you in a minute.
Bye.